Hey Brittany, how are you?
Good. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for joining me today to talk a bit about your experiences. Do you want to start with sharing where you're from and what you do?
So I'm from Farmington, New Mexico. I have an outpatient pediatric clinic that we provide occupational therapy, speech therapy, and we're bringing in counseling services.
Yes. And so you have been working with me in the program for about almost exactly a year, maybe a little bit over a year now. Do you want to just share a little bit about what your practice looked like before you started working with me and in the community?
So my practice was a lot smaller than it is now. I had just hired my second employee,
Hmm.
but she was still in that new hire, hadn't filled up her caseload. And still, I had one person who's working part-time, and then I had my schedule that was full, and then my new employee who was just starting.
Mm.
We were
Yeah.
Revenue was a lot lower. I think we were at like 25,000 a month.
Yeah. And how long did you have your practice at that point?
I had opened it about 5 years before.
Yeah, okay. And what was it that led you to join? I mean, I know you came to one of my retreats, so that then obviously gave you a bit of an experience of being in the community, meeting me. But what was it that led you to come to the retreat and then decide to join?
It was like a series of events actually. So when I was still in school, I had to do a capstone project, which was
Hmm,
building a business plan.
hmm.
And so when I was doing that, I kept finding your Facebook page
Oh.
and all your resources. And so I actually used a lot of it in my capstone project for developing
Oh,
a business plan. And so
I know
then
that.
when one day you posted, "Hey, we're gonna be in Colorado for a retreat. Anybody in the area want to come?" And I was like, "Okay, why not?"
Yeah. I didn't
I'd
know that.
already.
So, because it was about like a 5, 6 hour drive for you, wasn't it? But that's like close
Mhm.
in Australia and US terms, often like close enough. So then you came along, and then what was it that had you decide to join the program and community?
So throughout the retreat, it just felt like it was the right energy for me. And I
Yeah.
felt like this bubbliness that, oh, this is where I need to be.
Oh, I love that. So we're a year on, and you kind of touched on there, you were at 25,000, you had pretty much a full caseload, just taken on your second employee. What does the business look like now?
So we just hired on two new employees. So I think we're up to, I think, 8 employees now.
Hmm.
Um, Revenue is around almost 90,000,
Hmm.
somewhere in there.
Yep.
Because last month was 90,000, before that was 70, so we're
Yep.
around there.
Somewhere in there. So that's a tripling of revenue
Hmm.
in a
It
year,
is.
which is somewhat crazy. Not in any way unheard of in our program, as you would like attest to, right? You're no, I mean, you're special, but you're not like this unique unicorn. There's the only person experiencing this, right? You've seen other people do this. And can like definitely be achieved. But the bit that I love most and is, I imagine part of what drew you to me and the program was that we've been really focused with you on like what you wanted your life to look like. And so talk to me about what your life looks like alongside a business that has tripled in size over the last 12 months. How has your life changed?
It has changed in a very dramatically good way. Um, so instead of working like 60 to 70 hours a week, I work 10 to 20,
Hmm.
depending on kind of how I feel. I'm able to homeschool my son now. So that's why I say 10 to 20 hours, because
Because
sometimes
you
he
just
has
sent me
20
this week. You were like, sometimes I'm working while we're homeschooling because he's doing his stuff, and then we like kind of shadow, you're like body doubling with him. So it's like I'm kind of working, but I'm kind of like homeschooling, and like it's just a really cool mix, right?
It is, because that's what makes it nice. So, like, if he has 20 hours of schoolwork, then I'll be like, oh, I'm going to find some extra projects to do with the clinic and work on
Yeah.
this stuff, because it's easier to get him to focus when he's seeing I'm
Yeah,
focusing on
yeah.
something.
But the incredible piece
So,
about that is like when those 20 hours are done, you're both done. And so like I imagine there's lots of afternoons where you're just getting to hang out and like do things that most, some women watching this would like really love to do, but just feel aren't possible?
So, like the nice thing this past winter, because we live only 45 minutes from a ski resort. So
Mm.
we'd get all of our work done in the morning, and then at lunchtime, we'd go eat lunch as we're driving up to the ski resort and then ski
Oh,
the rest of the
wow.
day.
That is incredible. And that's not the only thing, right? Because when you first joined, you said to me, I really, there's lots of the world I want to see. Tell me
Mhm.
where you've been in the last 12 months.
So last month we were in New Zealand for 3 weeks. I was able to unplug from work. I didn't have to do anything for the
Mm.
clinic. Um, Back in November, we had went across the country to Washington, D.C. for 2 weeks.
Hmm.
I claim it was a business because we did like 4 days of conference stuff and then we did
Yeah.
all the other fun stuff.
Yeah.
Before that, in October last year, we got to do 2 weeks unplugged at Disney World. So,
Hmm. Yeah, I remember you being like, I'm taking the family to Disney. And that, like, I mean, I remember that being one of your, like, kind of first things that you were like, this is surreal. I can take my family to Disney. And yeah, and seeing the pictures, like, it's your profile picture on Facebook, isn't it, with your family at Disney? So,
yeah.
um, and that's been possible, right? Like, time-wise and being able to unplug, but also because you've got profit coming in from the business, right? This isn't just, yeah, the business has grown and I'm able to take time off. It's like because profit has also grown because it's also easy to grow a business but not actually pay yourself
hmm
properly. Yeah. And you're
So,
feeling
one of the
that?
things, yeah. So, when I started, I was probably for a good 3 years, I was only paying myself like 4,000 a month. And I
Hmm.
finally increased myself to 12,000 this month.
Yay. And that's, that time frame. I was just thinking about that as you were talking, Brittany. It's like 5 years to get to 25 grand. And then a year to go from there to 75 is wild. Like, what do you think have been the things that have allowed you to do that? Because that feels really surreal, right? To someone watching, it's like, how did you do that? Because what their mind is going to go to is like, you must have worked insanely hard, but you just told me you didn't. So now I don't know what you've done. I don't understand. What would you say to someone who's like, how did you do that?
So one of the first things was I learned this at the tree is like rethinking or repurposing my brain to think differently and
Hmm.
think how the way I want things to go
Yeah.
instead of how society tells me it should go.
Yeah.
And then once I got my brain wrapped around that and going, okay, that is possible. We can do it this way. A lot of the systems that you have in your program that you have us do that we all complained about at first, and then we're like, oh wait, we love
Oh, I
these.
get it now.
So then I started being able to put those into place, and
Yeah.
that's what really helped a lot too.
Did you find that you were someone who was like, all this system stuff seems really overwhelming, and so I'm just going to keep just moving forward. And, one of the things I talk a lot about is putting just the right amount of systems in, like just the right amount of masculine so that it does what you need it to without being overwhelming. Is that something that you've experienced? Is that something you've
So
experienced in that?
when I was first introduced to the systems, I was like, I don't know what this means. I'm so overwhelmed with it. But then being able to talk to everybody in the program who were
Yeah.
further along in it, had already put them into place, and hearing how they did it and seeing their
Mm,
samples, I was like, oh, I can change this how I need it to look for me.
yes.
And so
Yeah.
then I was able to tweak and play with it a little bit.
Yeah, and I think you spoke to a really important piece there that people ask me all the time, like, are there templates? Will you tell me how to do it? And I'm always like, no, because there is no one right way to do this. It's yes, we can show you a best practice way and other people can show you what they've done, but ultimately my job is to help you find your way. And is that kind of what you're saying, that in finding your way and trusting that your way is going to give you what you need, that's been the thing that's made this difference?
hmm
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So kind of having like a general idea. Here's your general idea,
Yeah.
and then getting to play with it to be my idea.
Yes, I love that. And then, we were just talking about what does the next version look like and how do you want it to look like just last week, right? So that's exciting to see what will come from that. What would you say to someone who's thinking about working with me or thinking about coming into this community? What would you say to them about what it's like to work with me, but actually like to be in this community? Because, lots of people say our community is really special. And I'm always like, but there's something really, really powerful about this community. What's that been like for you?
I think the big powerful aspects of the community is These are other women who are, they run their business and they're similar. They're not the same business, but they're similar
Mm.
enough that it's like, oh, I can hear all these different ideas and then I can pick and choose some that will work for me and modify
Yeah.
them for how they work for me.
Yeah.
Nobody's judgmental because we've all
Hmm.
been there. We've all struggled at the same low, those same levels, those same steps, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I had that struggle. Here's what I tried.
Yeah.
And it's the openness and um, they all have their lives. They have their families. They have um, sports and all this other stuff
All the
going on in
stuff.
their life. Yeah.
All the stuff going on.
And
And just really,
so
sorry, you go.
knowing that there's others out there who've already struggled with this kind of stuff. And so I can see the light at the end of the tunnel that, hey, if I keep working at this and lean on the support system because they're there to help,
Mm.
then you'll make it to the next step.
Yes. I love that. And it's just one step, right? The next step and the next step. What would you say to someone thinking about joining who's maybe hesitant?
I would say still give it a try, because you do have that month that you're kind of learning the system and getting to know some people, and you'll really know within like the second week if it's the right fit or not for you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Love that.